G'day guys and welcome to Retrospect Reviews. I'm Vince and today we're going to check out my game room. Now the last time I did a game room tour was 2018 around this time. Now I did live in a different place and the room was much bigger. But in saying that too, I didn't have as much stuff as I do now. So I have crammed a lot into this little room. I think it's safe to say it's about 3 meters by 2 meters, so it's not very big. So a lot of stuff I have put in storage, and some of the main games that I still play, say like for the Switch and the Nintendo Wii U and the Wii, are in the lounge room. So I might try getting a bit of a shot of where they are. Now, saying that, we will start the tour here. So come on, let's check out what I have in my game room. Starting off down here on the bottom shelf, this is where I keep just some random stuff like this Super Mario jigsaw puzzle, this light ghost that Christine got for me a couple of Christmases ago. So hopefully I'll be able to put that up somewhere. And this is the Pac-Man light that Christine got me this Christmas, 2019's Christmas. And there's just a random Dracula board game which you can see in another video, the Halloween video. This is the PS3 with original controller and just a second party controller. Coming up now is some old puzzle games that my parents had when we were kids, and the Lego thing. Also, there's some Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, some games for my nothing television. And some Dreamcast games as well. Here is some big box games that I recently got. Redshift is more of it's a universe thing, Secret Service, all that. So there's some good there. Here is some of my PSP games, some loose ones and some cover ones, and a PS Vita. But the rest are packed away. Moving up, we've got the PlayStation 2, this interactive golf game that I picked up with some figures, the PlayStation Mini and the Mega Drive Mini there, and just a cheap handheld thing which you can see on another video. Here, of course, is a Ghostbusters plushie fishing game for the Wii. The PSP box is empty, but I've got them in the shelf down below. A couple of PlayStation 2 Buzz and music things. Now there's a couple of tape recorders here for the Tandy Coco 3 and the Commodore, and some more Wii draw things. There's my Switch box, and there's a Starbird, which is a toy. That's the red box there is the Atari 2600, and my Super Nintendo box. Okay, so we've just flipped back so you can see what I have in the back. So in the back there you can see I've got a Mario, there's a Wii Fit board, a Star Trek figure, Iron Man emoji, and there's the turkey hunt, I think it's all hunting turkey or something like that, which a friend gave to me. Some more mirrors. There's my TIE Fighter that I picked up a couple of months back, Princess Peach, some more emojis, and my box for my ColecoVision. So moving back down here to the actual glass cabinet. Now this is where I keep most of my gaming consoles. So I'll just open the door here. So on the top shelf here is mainly all Nintendo. So the very top shelf of both sides of this cabinet is Nintendo. Here I've got Game Boy Advance. I think there's a 3DS there. A couple of NDSs. There's a Famicom clone, a couple of Famicom clones there, Famicom game, some Super Nintendo, some Game Boys cartridges there, and Game Boy Advance cartridges. There's an original Game Boy in the background. There's an original Wii in its box and some Wii for stuff. That's a Famicom cartridge that's sitting on the side there and an adapter. Moving down, this is the Atari shelf. So I've got an original Darth Vader Atari 2600 or VCS, some cartridges. Now this is the Atari. What it's kind of like they leap into the Atari home computer. So technically, it does boot into BASIC. Moving down to the Xbox shelf. So we've got an original Xbox there with some controllers and the remote. Moving across is the Xbox 360 with a third-party controller plus the Kinect and an original controller. Moving down is this kid's VTech. I suppose it's like a console, it's more educational stuff. In front of that is my 3D printed Star Trek of myself in a Star Trek uniform. There was a Robocop from Robocop 2. That is a Vampire on as a handheld. Pac-Man, which I've had since a kid. A couple of TV plug games there as well. Now down on this shelf, it's just a couple of random stuff. Some cheap Lego, a third-party controller. There's the 8-track there. Some DVD minis. Scrooge McDuck from a Happy Meal from the 80s that I've had for a kid. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's a sonic screwdriver that Christine brought for me when we first started going out for my birthday. There's an ET there that I've had since a kid. Couple of joysticks. So we moved up now. So on this top shelf is where I'll keep it. This is some Game Boy games just in front of the Wii there. These Game Boy games was given to me by a friend. Now moving on, this is the Super Nintendo with Mario World plugged into it there. There's a Star Wars game there that was given to me by Christine's cousin. The N64 with Diddy Kong there. Original Nintendo NES and of course the GameCube here. You can see in the background there some NES light guns. And so we'll move down just a bit to the Sega shelf. So on the Sega shelf here we've got Sega Master System 2 and 1, the one being in the back and the light gun in between. Over here is the Dreamcast and the Mega Drive. Now there's that cartridge in the front here is a Mega Drive clone, that I got from a garage sale. Moving down to the PlayStation shelf, original PlayStation, PS Vita, PSP, and two original PS2s. So I've got the fat PS2 and the thin. Moving down to the next shelf, if I can get down there. Alright. So this is a Intertron VC4000, which the games were on the shelf a bit further back with the ColecoVision. Now the ColecoVision is missing a controller, but I'm hoping to pick one up when I can find one. Now on the very last shelf is just some random stuff again, mainly all Commodore 64 copy discs and Amiga copy discs that I've had for years. There's a printer for my Tandy Coco 3 there. That cable in front of it is for the Tandy Coco 3 so I can hook a tape player up to it. So now we've moved over to the right to this shelf here where I keep most of a lot of big box games. So the top shelf there's Space Quest 1 that was given to me by a friend not long ago. Space Quest 2 with King's Quest and Police Quest, and a few other Sierra. So the top shelf's mainly Sierra. Moving down to LucasArts, so we've got Indiana Jones, Maniac Mansion, Zack McCracken, and a few other adventure games there. Moving down now, the games are just getting random now. So we got three of the Where in the Worlds. There's Operation Stealth is on that shelf. World Perfect. Now moving down, now there I've got one box there, the Super Hit Pack, which is the Atari. I couldn't fit that on any other shelf, so I had to put it there. But there was also a few good titles like Carmageddon. And on the next shelf down, these are mainly all Amiga titles. So we got Watch Out We're Mad and a few other ones there. And then coming down, these are mainly all flight simulators. A lot of these are Commodore 64 games, a few Amigas and the Atari ST. Very last shelf, these are all a bit more modern than Melrose Place. I have no idea what to do on that, but got here. So moving over to this side of the room, as you can see, I've picked up a couple of these TV plug games. I did a review of the Double Dragon. I won it back, and those Wrestling and Frogger one were reduced down to $5, so I picked them up. I did miss out on the Space Invader one because it was sold out. But anyway, I'm moving along. So as you can see up the top here, I've got another Sega Master System 2. I've got a Space Invader and a Miss Pac-Man in a little handheld device there I've done a review on. Now this is a Mega Drive, but it's a Mega Drive knockoff with a Atari 2600 Junior. The next shelf down is where I keep all my Mega Drive games. So I've got a few along here. All original except for one, which is a clone. Moving on to Master System games here. So I've got a heap of Master System games and in covers and a few loose ones. Moving down, this is just obviously a bit of a closer look here of the handheld stuff that I've got. So there's Frogger, Double Dragon. These are just small box PC games, and I've got some loose Super Nintendo N64 games there, and I've got one N64 games, a couple of Mega Drive games as well. More, this is all Commodore 64, and these cartridges mainly Atari. Okay, now moved up a shelf. So this, on the desk here, this is my desk. I've got the Amiga 500 there, a Commodore 64 with a Commodore 64 original floppy drive, and the Executive 2, I think it is, which was a third-party floppy drive. Moving up here above the CRT is my Zach McCracken hat and disguise from Zach McCracken. A quick shot joystick I picked up at a garage sale. I had to fix that. The switch was broken. Another joystick there next to the TV and thing. And just here is my Tandy Coco 3, one of my favourite computers from the 80s. Moving over is my workstation where I edit and edit videos and put them all together and upload them and do a number of other utility stuff that I do on there. Printer, yeah. So we're moving over to this side of the room where we now have more big box stuff. So starting down the bottom, next to the laser printer there, is just some random utility software. There's a video poker stuff I picked up, all sealed. So here we've got some random games and a few utilities there. There's Trivial Pursuit, there's Hexen. Moving up, there's this sealed Godzilla box. I'm not sure then, and the kids game Captain Code. There's Microsoft. So moving here, this is another game. This one I have to work on. It's not actually working at the moment. Well, I can't seem to get it tuned in. So I don't know if there's a problem with the machine itself or it's my TV just won't tune into it. So on this shelf here, we got Donkey Kong Game & Watch that a friend gave me. Duck Hunt Amiibo and the Game Boy Color that a friend gave me as well. Now this is the Sim City or the Sims shelf. So as you can see there, Sim Earth, Sim Ant, Sim Chopper, which I've had from brand new, Sim Farm, and pretty much all the Sims up to date. On the very top shelf here is just some more random games like Sacrifice and what else is there? Red Faction and Cinemaware. Now that's 3 different games which I've had since a kid for the Commodore 64. Now these are all Christine the Sims collection. So she has pretty much all the Sims that have been released up to date. So she's got the originals there. Still after the big box for the Sims Making Magic. It's the only one we can't seem to find. But she does have all the Sims 2 in clamshell and all the Sims 3. And as far as I'm aware, she has all the Sims 4s that has been released onto physical media. And next to that is my Spore collection, and starting off with the Atari. Now these first lot here are actually for the ColecoVision. So it's ColecoVision all the way up until Lady Mousetrap, the red Mousetrap there, which is then Atari. And these Sesame Street ones, I'm only missing one of those, which is the the Grouch, Oscar the Grouch one, which seems to be very expensive for some reason. So moving down, we got some original NES items, and then we move on to Super Nintendo. Now, most of these were given to me by my mate, except for the Bugsby one, which I had. Time Lord is my only original NES box. The rest are reproductions. And moving on to GameCube here. So I haven't got a huge GameCube collection. I haven't come across it. Now moving down to the NES collection. And yeah, I do have a fair few NES games. I seem to find them everywhere. I don't know if it's. I think it was very popular, so they're everywhere. I've got a handful of 3DS games there, and yeah, just a mixture of PC games there, and a couple of games for the Hammix, I think it's called. PS1 games, some more PC games. This game includes a couple of LucasArts I've had since I was since the early PC days, and these are just a random books that I've picked up, programming and computer books and so forth, and then there's just a few Leapfrog stuff. These TV Week things are just things. Anyhow, moving up to the top. So these are just random toys and a few amiibos. I've got a mini race car set at the back there. Ghostbusters Hot Wheels car. This flip over bug I've had since a kid. I used to love that when I was a kid. This Hot Wheel, I think it's a Hot Wheels helicopter I picked up. This spaceship I've had since I was a kid as well. 84. That's Fisher and Price. Fisher and Price. That gizmo I picked up recently. The silver robot in the back I actually picked up. I got for Christmas. Barrel's a Monkey, one of my favourite games when I was a kid. Rubik's Cube, Rubik's Links I've had since a kid. The other Rubik's Clock thing I picked up as a kid. And there's a couple of playing cards and Godzilla, of course. Okay, now we've moved out to the halls just to show where I keep my Wii U and Wii games. So as you can see, these are just my Wii games. Animal Crossing there. I picked that up for $7 brand new because Wii wasn't really selling and they were just flogging it off. A lot of Wii games that I've collected over the last 15 years. Just some are mine, some were Christine's, and some I've just picked up in bulk because people were just selling them off. And out here is where I keep in the lounge room where we keep the Wii U and the Switch. Not many Switch games at the moment. Well guys, that was the tour of my game room. Now if there was something that you saw that you'd like to see in more detail, leave it in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and share this video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell because it'll let you know when I upload a new video. Well, that's it for me. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time. Bye.